State.
Yes.
I think it is very telling that despite all of this reporting, despite all the news, he was on our show. He was in writing before joining our show, then was on our show last week. And then yesterday, 2 days ago, whatever, this week, he has been firm that he thinks and the Warriors believe that Jonathan Kuminga will be on their roster to start this season.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think Joe Lacob, and that's why you keep hearing Keon Ellis, unprotected first, Keegan Murray. Like, the reason you're hearing these names where you're, as a Kings fan, you're scoffing like, no, rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason those names are out there is because that's what it would take, where a haul that Joe Lacob could go, we had to do it. We made ourselves bet. You know, you hate to lose Kuminga, but man, we got a first-round pick, and we got Keon Ellis, who we think fits great. Like, that's what they want. And so when I sit here and I go, they need to make a decision, I think part of the reason they're not making a decision is because there's friction in the building. I think if Steve Kerr had the ultimate call, if Steve Kerr had the final stamp, and Steph Curry had the final stamp, the Devin Carter deal is done, protected first, whatever, cool, we'll take it. We're going to move on with our lives. Al Horford, get in here. DeAnthony Melton, get in here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a part of this where ownership is like, we're actually not going to do that. Because I refuse to be wrong about Jonathan Kuminga. I refuse to have this end in shame, even though that's very much the direction this is going.
It's really weird, though. I mean, that's why you always have this weird dynamic in any professional sports team where if you have an active owner, an owner that's engaged and part of the discussions and part of everything that's happening, and that's not just in Golden State. I mean, it's here in Sacramento without any question, right? It's that you have to convince everybody in the room of what you're doing and why it's right to do what you're doing. And that's not easy because people have their own opinions. And, you know, again, if you can't pitch this in the right way to your boss, they're, you know, I could see Lacob like being a holdup.
Yeah.
Same time, like you're just not very good with Kuminga. You're okay with Kuminga. The Kings aren't very good without Kuminga. I don't think it changes like tremendously what this season looks like for the Kings. I would even say there's a possibility if you traded for Kuminga and then had to dump DeMar DeRozan to get under the luxury tax, that Vegas is going to view you as a 34.5 win team.
Sure.
Like, I don't know that the number goes up, but that doesn't mean that you don't have potential to be different and like to find a pathway forward. I think we all look at the pathway that they're on right now, and we've seen that jam. You know, we already know what it looks like. It has to look different if we expect the outcome to be different. And we can talk about how much influence Doug Christie can have over, you know, the team given a full training camp and a full off season and all that stuff. We can talk about, you know, like the maturation of specific players and maybe this player becomes this or that. What Dennis Schroeder might look like. The answer is like, really, Vegas isn't usually off by that far. On occasion they are.
Sure.
But they are also spot on a lot of times. And more often than not, when you take the over in a situation like this, you lose your money. And that's what Vegas is about. So they're just not that far off. And so I think it's interesting because they're, like we talk about just the dynamics in play, all these three different teams that, you know, whether it's Kuminga's group, it's the Kings, it's, you know, again, the Warriors, you can even throw in the Suns as a fourth. Then on top of that, within each of these, they have their own factions of people who are super high on a player or not super high on a player, who are willing to give up this or not willing to give up that. You know, again, I know BJ Armstrong has spoke glowingly about Jonathan Kuminga multiple times in the past. He's a fan. Now, as far as Scott Perry, he hasn't done that. Not like he did with the Zach LaVine situation or something. So I think we're always caught in this, like, okay, who's on what side and who's pushing what. And so it makes it really complicated. It's not just, you know, 3 or 4 groups of people trying to make a decision. It's groups within those groups trying to make decisions as well about what's right for their franchise.
Yeah, man. I like I said, this is not a thing you're supposed to say on the radio, but I've run out of things to say about the Jonathan Kuminga situation.
Yeah.
Not we have more details, but the fundamentals of it haven't changed at all. And maybe the holdup at this point is the Kings need to make that additional trade before bringing in Jonathan Kuminga.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the holdup at this point. I'm of the belief that Golden State is the one that's just not pulling the trigger. But I don't. I know we keep hearing September, and we hear about this October 1st deadline for the qualifying offer. I can't fathom that Golden State wants to put themselves in a position where they're sitting there on September 30 and Al Horford hasn't signed and the Anthony Melton hasn't signed, and we've heard Seth Curry's name thrown around. I can't imagine they want to wait that long. I don't think the players probably want to wait that long, and I don't think Golden State wants to wait that long.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're getting all this reporting now, and hey, they've offered 2 and 45, but the hang up is the team option and the no trade. At some point, I think in the not too distant future, we're gonna have a resolution to this.
Yeah, I'd add this too. Like the Dario Saric thing has its own wrinkles. Like they can't trade Dario Saric in a trade that is aggregated for 60 days from the day they acquired him. So the Kings can't technically add him into a deal where they're adding him to Devin Carter salary until all the way, until September 13th. Let's see, July 13th, so August 13th. Yeah. Maybe the 11th of September, whatever it might be, but 60 days. So again, I think that there might be a way around that. Like the Warriors might have like a trade exception that they're accepting Dario Saric, but whatever. Like it's going to be complicated.
Yeah.
But that's another one of those things that kind of stands out. Like, what exactly are you doing here?
I do think it's encouraging from the Kings' perspective that there's reporting that Jonathan Kuminga wants to be in Sacramento. Like that matters a lot in this. But again, like we're just kind of okay. We're now running in circles, and Warriors got to do something. And how dare they scoff at this offer? How dare they make this offer? Like it's just all right. Yeah, we got it. It's 2 teams trying to out leverage each other. 3 teams now with Phoenix.
Yep.
Phoenix. Allegedly. Phoenix, who made an offer of 4 second-round picks that they don't have.
This feels it feels a little bit like arbitration in baseball.
Ooh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you go into arbitration, and the stupid thing is they're usually fighting over like $200,000.
It's so dumb.
And then they go in, and each of them have their sides, and they just trash each other.
It is so crazy.
They use advanced statistics. They use everything in the book to trash a player so they don't have to pay like an extra $150,000.
Yeah.
And then you get done with the transaction. And it was like, well, that was horrible. Can't wait to do this next year because I got 3 years of arbitration.
I'm on ARB 3.
Yeah.
Bip Roberts, former NBC Sports, still.
I haven't seen him. I've seen Shooty.
Yeah. I think former A's analyst for NBC Sports. I was when I was working down at NBC. I'm doing an A's pregame thing, and it's Brody Brazil, it's Dave Stewart, and it's Bip Roberts, and then me and another producer. And I had said I'd done this whole thing. I had this whole thing laid out, and I think I've told this story before, but I had this whole thing laid out about the A's hard contact rate and how it correlated with their strikeout rate. Like they led the league in hard contact rate, or were top 5, but then they were also way up there, like top 5 in strikeout rate, or bottom 5, depending on how you want to look at it. They had one of the highest strikeout rates. And so I was kind of putting together like, look, these guys are just swinging for the fences every time. And I had all this other data. I had all this other stuff that I had looked up, and I built out a graphic for it, and it looked great. And Bip Roberts, as I'm kind of explaining this segment, scoffs and goes, hard contact rate. I wish I'd love to see a team, or I'd love to see somebody use that in arbitration, or wish I'd had that in arbitration. Like scoffing at it. It's like they do.
Oh yeah. Now,
if you think, I don't know what Jacob Wilson's hard contact rate is, so I'm just using a local example. Let's pretend Jacob Wilson's hard contact rate is 18%. It's not, but let's pretend it's that low. And Jacob Wilson hit 350. Jacob Wilson's going to go to arbitration and go, I hit 350 last year, and the A's are going to go, yeah, but did you? Like, your hard contact rate was down. You got some fly ball luck. You had 4 homers that actually wouldn't have been home runs in 27 other parks. So did you really hit those home runs? Like, that's how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
That's
like if they allowed the shift, you probably would batted 308.
Right? Yeah.
You're like, really?
The defensive
like,
positioning.
That's what you're going to, and they're going to figure you out next year. So we're going to have to deal with that.
That's totally what this Kuminga thing is like, though.
Yeah.
The Warriors like, well, we want him. And we're gonna keep him unless hey, Ryan Dunn. Oh man, this offer from Phoenix. The Kings are like, here's Devin Carter.
Yeah,
and there's their 2nd round pick.
And like I had this conversation with Damian and Kenny yesterday. Like the Devin Carter thing is interesting because he does like project as a Gary Payton II type player. Like 6'2" guard, jump out of the gym. Good defensive player, can rebound, can give you some minutes here and there, but you don't know if he's going to have a higher upside or not. I think it is like a really interesting like player comp that Golden State might actually work for him, where he doesn't work, or he might not work in Sacramento.
Yeah, that's it comes back to fit, which we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
Where maybe that's what it is. And if he accepts that role in Golden State, maybe Golden State finds a player that fits better, and Jonathan Kuminga fits better with the Kings. And oh my gosh, look at this. I don't know how the Warriors feel about Devin Carter in a vacuum, but I would guess the holdup is less Devin Carter and more they view Devin Carter as a tier 4 player, and they think Jonathan Kuminga is a tier 1 or 2 player.
Yeah.
And I think that might be more the holdup. But I think there's definitely a world where if that trade goes down, where Devin Carter has a legit role and actually helps Golden State.
Or at least has an opportunity to compete for minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we're talking about the 13th pick in the draft last year.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
There's a lot of opportunity for minutes. They don't.
You know what else?
Don't have anybody.
There's an opportunity for, Kyle.
Oh, I need you to tell me right now.
You could win 2 single-day passes to Aftershock at Discovery Park, October 2nd through October 5th, courtesy of Danny Weimer Presents. Just enter online at ESPN1320.com contest page. You could win 2 single-day passes to Aftershock. Amazing.
Hell yeah. And that is a second mention, folks. Come on. We did it.
We did it.
Second mention. Yeah, man. Something will happen at some point. I just hope there's no more stories that come out about this. That's my hope. I don't want another Athletic article letting us know that I can give me a tweet. Warriors offered 3 and 86. Yeah, but you got to waive the no trade clause.
Yeah.
Like,
we don't want you.
Like,
but we're gonna pay you.
It's like they don't want him on their team, but they want a return. Like, they do want him on their team, but the reason they don't want him is because they don't think that he can affect winning. But the reason that they're not just giving him away is because they think other teams think he can affect winning. Yuck.
Here's a question for you, because I know you watch a lot of Warriors games.
Mm-hmm.
If the Warriors walk into this season with Jonathan Kuminga as one of their rotational players versus without him, and with, say, Devin Carter and whatever, Dario Saric, are they a better team or a worse team without him?
Probably a little worse. But it's probably negligible.
Yeah, I think they're worse, but maybe a game worse.
Yeah, not having, and again, it didn't affect winning. The 4 games that he started against Minnesota, they lost. But not having that player available who's just going to come in cold off the bench and drop 18 in a playoff game and then drop 30 and then 23 and 26 or whatever the point totals were. Like, you don't just get better by losing that player. But again, maybe the fit with Devin Carter is just awesome, and he finds a role, and he's a more consistent 3-point shooter than Gary Payton II, and he's a rebounder, and he's a defensive pest, and oh my God, look at this. But no. The other place Golden State is stuck is they're trying to maximize Steph's window here.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever years they have left of him being an effective player, they're trying to maximize that window. And it's like for what? Because they're not going to contend for a title. And so I think that's the other thing at play here for them is, well, this Jonathan Kuminga trade isn't going to get us closer to a championship.
No.
So do you want to make that trade, even if it makes you worse? That's kind of the other place I think they're stuck is.
That's why the money matters, and that $20 million salary matters.
Yeah, for sure. The handoff matters. D'Lo and KC going to join us next. We'll dive into, we did some of the Jonathan Kuminga stuff already, but we'll talk about MLB trade deadline. That's coming up at 3:00 today. No news that I've seen for the A's. And by the way, just for the interest of accuracy, Jacob Wilson, 19.1% hard contact rate this year. Not bad. That's James. I'm Kyle. He's Joe. The handoff with D'Lo and KC coming up next. We are sponsored by Jiffy Lube, and this is the Insiders on ESPN 1320 Sacramento Sports Leader.